really care about. Like if I could be immortal, but I could also get like all of you guys be immortal, I think I would do that. Because I know I would have the support and the people around me to fill my lifetimes with it.
Fair enough.
Versus me individually, like if you were to ask me tomorrow, do I want this? I'm probably going to say no if I can't, if my friends and family can't be immortal with me.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
No,
What's your reasoning, Pippin?
I don't know. I personally like the idea of being immortal. I'm one who doesn't do much, and so I live kind of vicariously through hearing about other people's experiences and what they've gone through. And so I would use that as an opportunity to learn much more about the world and the people. I understand the argument that like kind of the beauty of life is that it is fleeting, and Mary has that opinion, and kind of like she wouldn't ever want to be immortal. But myself, I like the idea. I'm not afraid to admit this, but I'm scared of death.
Yeah, everyone is.
Like, I don't want to find out what comes after.
Interesting. I want to know. My brain is, like, hardwired to, like, I need to fucking know.
If I could find out and come back, I'd be fine with that. But I don't want to have that permanence with it.
It's just crab rave.
Oh, Pippin, you're a man who struggles with object permanence in the short term. I'm not trying to call you out, but it's like it makes a lot of sense for you because like when things are there, they're there, but when they're not, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
There's me setting the Coke can in front of you, and then you turn your head, and I remove the Coke can, and I'm drinking it, and you'll never think of that Coke can again unless you watch me drink it.
That's a lie. That's a lie, and I hate the slander.
Man, that sounds like some Alex Jones type of denial right there.
Oof.
No, I definitely
you deny the
understand
truth.
I definitely understand what you're saying, though. There does seem to be some of that, like, transience internally rather than externally.
Well, and this isn't a criticism of you. Everyone's built a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
We each hold different things and different, like, our life experiences as people are a lot different than, like, me and Jonah are, like, very different people.
Oh, yeah.
You and me, Pippin, are very different people. Jem and I are very different people, but we're all friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we're basically family at this point. We've known each other long enough to where it's like, I can't think of you guys being outside of my life.
Yeah.
It's just how it's how we all view this crazy world.
Yeah. Well, there's so many things I want to do, and I don't think I could do them all within even a set number of lifetimes, because, you know, as you live on, new things are discovered, new experiences, new people. Like I don't feel like I could ever satisfy that level of curiosity within any sort of given time frame.
I'm the same.
The concept of infinity to me is wonderful because it goes on forever. The endless possibilities.
And my best advice for you would be to just get out there and do something.
I know.
Yeah, one of another podcast I listened to, this guy was talking about his grandfather, and his grandfather was like, "I'm gonna die at 75," like said that for like ever apparently. And he did. He died at like either at that age or very close to that age. And but he was happy when he died because he was getting done all the things he wanted to do before he got to that point. You know? And that's honestly very similar to way to how I try and live my life a little bit, because I'm very focused on like doing all the things I want to do within the amount of time that I have. So, like,
and that's why I agree with you, Jonah. And this is kind of like a little bit personal for the audience. I'm a type 1 diabetic that was diagnosed fairly late for a diagnosis like that. And that's a call. That's like basically getting that call and telling and experiencing that basically meant my life was probably 10 to 15 years shorter than everyone else's. it gave me that perspective of like, I can't hope to live to 120. And I didn't believe I was going to live to that. I didn't believe I was going to live to that anyway, but it's like, let's say like at the absolute best, I could theoretically live to 100 if the human body gives up at 120. It's like, realistically, I got to make the most out of what I have here. It's like if my body doesn't betray me, shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't want to be wanting more at the pearly gates or on your deathbed or whatever.
Now,
Yeah, live life without regrets, right?
Now I have a similar question to Pippin. Because we're on the topic of death and everything, so if you were given the opportunity to know how you die and when you die, would you want to know?
Yes.
Jem?
No, I'd be too paranoid.
Yeah, that's fair. Sherry?
I'm on drugs for thoughts like that, so no.
I would want to know because it would actually assuage some of my paranoia.
Dude.
Or increase it.
Dude.
No.
It's oddly close.
How do I say you
If I-
can
if I-
still change that way you die though? Like that's the funny thing where Pippin sees it, he's like, I'm invincible, and gets hit by a fucking car.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I can see your dumbass doing some shit like that.
Okay,
Okay,
basically.
so-
I'm not meant to
it's-
die
it's a-
today, so I can easily rush onto oncoming traffic. I'll be fine.
I won't die. I'll just get mortally wounded. Jem, what were you gonna say before Jonah posed this question?
What I was going to say was something a little bit more general. From what I've been through and what I've observed through different people that I've used to talk to, some I still talk to, some, well, more of an observing position as of right now, is that people tend to forget that life is what you make out of it. It is your story, and at the end of the day, we all hope to have a good story to tell, right? I mean, hell, I'm 25, and some of the things that I've been through are either unbelievable or, well, hilarious to some, despite my turmoil, I guess would be the right way to put it.
A little bit of Schadenfreude.
Look, man, there's a reason why I thought I was in a fucking Truman's Show-like state for quite some time. I've spent way too much time awake in an airport, just going, oh god, why?
So is that the path to ecstasy?
I
No.
I spent too much of my life fucking working. Like, holy fuck. Dude, I've been working since I've basically been 8 years old. Like, it's not even funny at this point. Like, I can't, how do I say, my body couldn't handle doing nothing just because, like, I'm already fucking depressed as is. Like, doing all that shit would, like, drive me up the fucking wall. But at the same time, doing, like, the same thing every single day is gonna drive me fucking crazy. I need variation, but, like, how do I say? Some people can fall into a routine and be happy with that routine. I can't do that. I need something new, like, all the time. And it fucking sucks, but that's the way my brain is.
Yeah, that's fair. That's that's part of my whole thing too, where like one of my greatest fears is being forgotten. But the thing is, I don't ever do anything really worth remembering, and so I tend to stick to the background for everything. And it's just such a weird like juxtaposition for myself. And I realize that I'm my own worst enemy with that, but it's such an odd.
See, like, but I have like so many interesting things because you always bring this up. But I've never heard you fully explain it, because, like, you talk to me about how you see, like, shadow people and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, like, sounds a little crazy, but, like, I think
you know, Terry, Larry, Jerry. Terry's cool, but...
It's not like full shadow people. It's more like flickers of movement out of the corner of my eye that look just enough like people that when I see, like, it's in my fucking bedroom, where I'm laying in bed dinking around on my phone, and I'll like stop looking at my phone for a minute, set it down on my chest, and the lamp is there's a lamp at the foot of my bed, and I'll see some movement, and there's no, airflow necessarily in my room that would cause that level of movement. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
But here's the thing: we lived in the same house for 2 years. I've known you in the dorms, and
Yeah.
I'm. So here's the thing: I've never experienced anything like this. But also, how do I say? Let me guess. This has followed you throughout your entire life.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. So I would
As
say,
long as I
like,
can remember.
it's not necessarily something in your head, but like it's just like you're seeing things that are there, but like you have a tough time wrapping your head around it. Probably just because like your brain is very anxious and like is like what the fuck is that, paranoid kind of thing.
That reminds me of something I read a very long time ago regarding humans and their one of the more like basic animalistic instincts. So this might have happened to you guys, but you know, whenever you're walking down the street, how many face or face-like objects do you see that takes you a while to recognize? Like, oh wait, that's not a face.
Tons. All the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Head
Wow.
constantly on a swivel because I constantly see, faces or things moving, and I'm like, I don't like this.
So the most common occurrence of that is when you have three dots together or
Yep.
three circles together, where you immediately go, "Oh, eye, mouth." But from what I remember reading was that that's basically your fight or flight response, and you're always on the lookout for predators or something that might jump you.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if you have something like that
That
going on.
makes so much sense.
But like cranked to like 20.
It is because like he has he like I remember when we first started hanging out, you would like freak out if somebody like came up behind you or like touched you, like when you didn't know, you'd immediately get super defensive. Like
Yeah. It takes me a while to warm up around people too. Like, it doesn't help also that whether or not I actually have it, but it feels like I have an extremely wide peripheral vision. Like, I almost 180 degrees, it feels like.
Okay,
Whether or not
bullshit.
that's actually true, that's what it feels like.
Okay, 180 is bullshit. That's damn impossible. But it is possible to get it measured.
Yeah.
It is a very simple experiment, actually.
Yeah.
But I just think it would be funny. It's just like the shadow people are actually just his glasses blocking his fucking eyesight.
I wouldn't put it past. There's been some weird reflections recently too. I know I need to get a new prescription because mine feels old.
Fucking gets contacts. He's like, the shadow people are gone. It's like, what?
I can't wear contacts. I've tried.
No, contacts are not for me. I don't like the concept of poking my eye with my finger.
Yeah,
Well, I can do it.
Hard
Like,
pass.
I could do it right
I
now.
I was fine with it, except when I had monthlies.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, my brother had that.
So, monthlies are not fun.
Yeah,
Like,
those stick
'cause
for a while.
you always want to, like, no matter what you do, no matter how you clean it, like, if you get a bad one, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you what my brother has for eye disease?
Hmm.
My brother has a thing called keratoconus. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Nope.
Okay.
So I'm only familiar with it because you told me about it, Jeb. Or Jonah.
So what keratoconus is, it's a degenerative eye disease, and he's had it his entire life, and it was really bad when you go through puberty. It affects it more just because of the nature of the disease. What it does is your cornea is constantly like changing, like rippling, flatting, bulging, things like that. Like it essentially changes shape and will add texture and other things to your cornea, which really should.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, like you can't tell by looking at them, but like it's one of those things where your eye is constantly changing like that, and it's ramped up in puberty because you're growing, your body is changing.
Yeah.
There was a time period where he was getting new contacts at an extreme rate, to the point to where the doctors were going like, we may or may not have to give him a cornea transplant, depending on if this does not slow down.
Yeah.
And luckily, he never had to have that. But the dude's blind as a fucking bat. Like, without his glasses, his glasses are fucking thick. And like,
Yeah.
also, like, when, how do I say, light really affects him strangely. Like, if your head beams hits a thing of snow, it's like blinding to him. And
Okay.
then also, like, stoplights are all, like, distorted and stuff like that late at night.
If I do remember, cornea transplants have a pretty decent eye success rate.
This was also 9 years ago, like, or even longer. This was like 10, 11 years ago, back when my brother was in like high school.
Right. The reason why, I think the reason for that was that your immune system doesn't really look at the eye. It has, I'd have to double check it. It's been quite some time since I had to remember/know about anatomy of the eye. Interesting stuff, but yeah.
This is what kind of keratoconus looks like for people with it. I'll post it in the pictures. There you go.
Okay, yeah.